friends, welcome back to my channel. So sorry I've lost a little bit of light now. I'm just doing the intro at the end of the tutorial and I'm no longer in our studio because we're just on the road, so I promise the lighting does get better. So we just got back from Mykonos and I can't even explain how inspired I was by the overall style of the place. Not only was the architecture so cool, like white buildings, natural stones accentuated with like, you know, wood poking out in places and things like that, but also the girls looked amazing. Like every girl there just looked so cool. I think I just absolutely love the contrast between like flowy feminine dresses like white, black, gold with this sort of structured hardware. Like if I look at my jewelry collection, I can definitely see that I've been quite heavily influenced personally by the Greek style. So today I wanted to try a makeup look that was inspired by my trip to Greece. It's very gold and shiny. It's very highlighted and I've got shimmers on my shoulders and things like that. I've got a very fierce liner going on and I just thought if I leave the bottom of my eyes clear, it does kind of give that contrast between the feminine and the strong. Then I also invited Kane to help with my hair as a special guest, and you know what? I think he did a really good job. So if you want to see how we did it, just carry on watching. So to start with my base today, instead of using a full foundation, I'm going to mix a little bit of moisturizer. I'll put the products in the description below for you. A little dollop of moisturizer with the tiniest little squirt of this Bye Bye Under Eye Illuminating Concealer. Now, I don't know why I've been enjoying this, but in sort of the warmer climate that I've been in, I tend to like wearing foundation a lot less. So for me, this is a really good way to get even coverage, but make it a bit more like a tinted moisturizer. So I'm pretty much making my own little DIY tinted moisturizer. Now, the benefit of having that concealer is that it is actually really full coverage. So if I do want to sort of layer a bit more to cover the dark circles under my eyes or any blemishes, that's what I'll use it for. So I'm just gonna actually tap it there and just apply that with my hands like any other moisturizer. So I just want to set under my eyes there, not bake, but just set with a little bit of translucent powder. I found this new product that I've never tried before by IT Cosmetics, and it's the Bye Bye Pores Poreless Finishing Airbrush Powder, and I'm finding it really, really nice. Like it's sort of just glides right on there and it actually genuinely covers all your pores. And I'm just going to actually use a tiny little eyeshadow blending brush and just dip that in there. Not too much. Make sure I haven't got any crease lines going on. And just like sort of brush it on there to set the areas that I want to mattify. I'm not gonna bring that too far out because I'd like to maintain those little natural highlights. So I'm pretty much just gonna bring this up onto the lids to make sure that I have a clean matte canvas ready to go and all the way up to the brows. Next up, I'm going to start on the eyebrows. Now, I've also started using a new product here that I haven't used before, and it's by Anastasia Beverly Hills, but it's the really tiny, oh, wrong side. It's the really tiny, tiny little pencil. So it's much easier to get sort of a natural hair look with this one rather than like the thicker ones that sort of just smudge a color on there. So I've been really liking this one. The color I'm using is chocolate, and I feel like it looks a lot more natural with my eyebrows rather than looking too dark, because sometimes I, you know, end up with really fierce eyebrows. So this is just a bit more of a daytime look. As I'm using this little pencil, I'm then sort of using the brush in intervals to brush it out and make it look a bit more like natural hairs, and also just to flick my hairs a bit more in an upwards direction. Then towards the inside of my brow here, I'm gonna go even lighter, and I'm just gonna do little strokes from the bottom of my brow up like that, kind of following the direction that my hairs are actually going. Now I'm gonna move on to the eyes, and I wanna do a really kind of gold, smoky look. So I'm gonna go with golds and blacks just to kind of smoke it out a little bit. Now I don't want it to look too full on, I still want it to look daytimey, but there's gonna be a fair bit of like a glitter and shine going on. So I'm gonna start off with this Huda Beauty palette here and pick up the color Moon Dust. Now I actually find that it's quite easy to apply this with one of these things, what they called cotton buds, and just to kind of tap it on. And I want to pop it onto the inner corners of my lids. Next up, to highlight the inner corners of my eyes even more, I'm going to use this Colorpop Luster Dust. I'm moving that upside down. It is super, super beautiful. So I'm just going to tap that. See how much that just glides on there really easily. And I'm just gonna brush away excess kind of shimmer around it to just condense it into the area where I'd like it to be. I then want to carve out the creases of my eyes a little bit. So I'm gonna pick up the color Sandalwood, which is just a really nice natural brown color, and just tap that on there. And to give that kind of Greek goddessy effect, I'm going to take this way further than where my eye ends. So I'm going to make it look like a bit more fierce. I'm then going to take that sandalwood color and bring it into the lower lash line as well. So now that I've got that basic outline, I'm going to go in with a super, super gold. I got sent this new Fenty palette here, which I absolutely love, and I haven't really had an opportunity to use it yet. So I thought this would be a great time to try out that color there, because check this out, ready? It is so shimmery and metallic. So I am actually just going to use my fingers and tap that all the way up the center of my lid. Okay, so that wasn't coming out as gold as I wanted, so I've gone in with the Huda Beauty 24 karat color here, and I'm just gonna use that first to really get that gold popping. And then I'm gonna go back over with the Fenty sort of glitter color. So I'm gonna get that same color and pop it in the middle section of my under eye, just to tie it all in together. Now that I've got this solid gold base, I'm gonna go back in with this Fenty Beauty. It's a bit more of a loose glitter, so what I wanna do is kind of get that to fan out a little bit so it's not perfectly ending where my crease is. So that can go up a little bit onto the brow bone. I feel like this is a bit more of like the sort of icing on top rather than the base color. So I want to lift the inner parts of my eyes even brighter. So I'm going to take this little Colorpop Ladybird. It's called Super Shock Shadow Ultra Glitter. And I actually find it easiest with these just to use a cotton bud and tap that exactly where you want it. Okay, so now that I'm literally covered in gold and glitter, I'm gonna go in with a liquid eyeliner pencil and draw a winged line. I like to do it like that. Just draw a little outline first and then kind of color in the lines. So I've just created a wing on my top lid. I've taken it all the way into there, and it's made me realize that I think I want to add a little bit of extra length to my eyebrows, just so that kind of the whole wing and this pivoting out quite far here all makes a bit of sense. So I'm gonna make these brows a little more wingy. On my lower waterline, I'm not gonna put a black liner, I'm gonna go with a white liner just to open up those eyes and to keep it looking fresh. Now I do want it, you know, fierce with this thick black liner and everything, but I also want it to be a daytime look. So I'm brightening that up with a nice white. I'm gonna do a quick slick of mascara on my top lashes because there's been a bit of glitter falling onto them, and I want to pop some lashes over the top of this. So it's always a good idea to sort of paint your own lashes black as well. So today I'm going to use the Glam by Manicare Sophia lash. It is a mink effect lash, so it kind of has like these wispy, beautiful pieces to it, and it's going to look sort of nice and natural but still quite full on. So I always like to cut them and sort of measure them to my eyes so they don't have too much on either side, like, you know, bothering me or coming off halfway through the day. One other trick that I like to do with falsies is kind of bend them out before I apply them so that they're not too stiff anywhere. So you just kind of like give them a little wiggle. Pop the middle down first and then grab each corner and just place it exactly where I need it. Then I go with my tweezers and sort of sandwich it all the way across my own eyelashes to stick the falsies to my lashes. Okay, so while I let those dry, I'm gonna start bronzing my face. Now, I'm not gonna bother contouring it all today. I'm just gonna bronze in the right areas and get that sort of sun-kissed, Grecian, shimmery look. So the first thing I'm gonna go in with is this Benefit bronzer. It's not too dark, it's very, very matte as well. So I'm just gonna use that to kind of loosely contour where I want the darker, more bronzed areas. I'm gonna do around my forehead. I went a bit nuts there in the middle. I'm gonna try and blend that out a bit. And then I wanna almost connect that with the side of my eyeshadow. So I always do this, I like pull back my hair a little bit and make sure that whatever I'm contouring or bronzing actually gets into the hairline a little bit as well, so I don't have like suddenly, I guess, like an edge to my makeup. I think this is probably a lot harder if you're blonde, because you definitely don't want orange hair. But if you're brunette, it's quite easy to just disguise that into your hair. A little bit on the end of my nose as well. I don't want to do a full nose contour or anything like that. I am, however, going to use more shimmer. So a super quick and easy life hack, if you normally like to contour your nose but you don't have time or you don't think it's right for the look, you can just do the highlight. So I'm going to go back in with this Colorpop shimmer and I'm just going to tap a tiny bit like that on my nose, and then without smudging it around too much, I'm going to like tap it down and make basically like a cartoon shimmer. There's going to be like one highlight there that's just always really bright and exactly the spot I want it. Then what you want to do is just find the center of your nose and go up sort of just below in between your eyes and do the same thing there. Just a little dot. This is so much quicker than like a normal contour. And then I want to just, with my finger, go up and down on that one. Straight up and down. And now, I have kind of a contoured nose without doing the whole, you know, dark contour and all that sort of stuff. I'm trying to decide whether I want to put mascara on my bottom lashes. I'm kind of liking how it's like just the top has dark and right now the bottom is just pure, you know, gold and white, pretty much. Now my lashes have dried, so what I do like to do, especially if I've got a like a winged liner, is I like to go over the strip where your strip lash is, just so that you don't have it visible at all. Obviously you don't have to do this, but I always think it makes the lashes look so much better. It really disguises them. I'm having one of those days where the wing just keeps going. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger. It started as like this tiny little diddly wing. Do you guys do that? And then you like stuff it up a little bit and you make it bigger and bigger. So turned into quite a fierce wing. Now I'm just gonna pop a tiny bit of blush on the apples of my cheeks. This is a Dior blush and it's Coral Cruise. Now I've come to a decision on the mascara. I'm just gonna mascara the top lashes. I like to do this as well. I know I put some on before applying the falsies, but I really like to make sure that they're on there perfectly and not flailing around. So I do another little slick of mascara just to combine them with my lashes, you know what I mean? I just want to keep the lower lash line fresh and white and nude. I don't want to put anything on there so that I've got that contrast between my extreme sort of lashes and also eyeliner there. And then you've got that nice juxtaposition between the light and white and gold and also that black. Now I'm gonna keep the lips super simple. I don't wanna go overboard at all. I'm just going to use literally the thing that I've been using every single day since I've got this palette. And that is this Dior Backstage lip palette here. These two are very clearly my favorite colors and I mix them. So I'm just gonna, see how that has this beautiful kind of nude color to it. You don't need a lot of it at all. It's just a little bit of a lip. Mix it with the gloss. And that is such a good everyday lip look for me. I've been absolutely loving it. Now, to finish this look off, I need that Grecian goddessy bronzed glow to me. I need to like just be illuminated like crazy. So I'm going to use this and this huge brush. I think I'm more excited about the brush than the product itself. How nice. So I'm just gonna do this and pop it on my shoulders. See how now I've got, ooh, shimmer. Just try and get it around the back as well. I always forget about that. Just everywhere. What am I doing? Okay. I think I got a little out of hand. Okay, so I just need to put pens down. Somebody needs to stop me. That is the face and body done and dusted. Now, moving on to my hair. I had a look at some Grecian hairstyles and I noticed there are a lot of like twists and plaits and things like that, a lot of really beautiful updos. But the one thing I noticed is that a lot of them had adornments in them, like gold leaves, crowns, ropes, things like that. Now, I did try and find some olive leaves, but the only thing I could find was baby's breath. I still think it's gonna work. I got myself a little bunch of flowers. So for the hair, I'm going to need a little extra help from my Luxy hair extensions. Babe, I can see you in the background. I guess it doesn't matter. So for my hair, I am going to need the help of my Luxy hair extensions. What I like to do, because I have highlighted sort of blonde hair, is I mix two colors. So right now what's working for me is mixing the ombre chestnut color with the dirty blonde color. So what I do is I place them in with this one below this one. So then you get a kind of mixed effect on the ends. I have done a couple of full videos of how I put them in, so I'll link that for you in the description below if that's of interest. And otherwise, I'm just gonna get going. So the one thing I'm super excited with this look is that I now have an excuse to use this. It is volumizing powder, but not just any volumizing powder. It is gold dust volumizing powder. So I wanna show you what it looks like. I did it on my hand earlier. Woo! Okay, so there's a lot of powder. Can you see gold dust? I can. I'm not sure if you can, but there's a lot. So I'm going to finish off this whole gold Grecian look with little gold dust in my hair as well. Absolutely not necessary for it to be down here, but it's just the volumizing powder that I have on me right now. So this whole piece here, I'm going to tease and bobby pin away so that you can't see these little short pieces through my extensions. So I'm starting with the dark color, and I'll just show you what I mean. Immediately on top of that, I'm going to go in with the dirty blonde. Once I'm at the top, I like to do another layer of gold dust volumizing and then a little bit of teasing here. Now this look is actually quite ideal for people with short hair if you do have trouble blending extensions into it, because it's kind of a half up, half down style. So it can often really easily disguise any issues there. Okay, so you can see there I've now got like a two-toned kind of mixed effect, and that's gonna look even better once I throw some curls and waves into it. So I'm gonna pick up small pieces of curl, and I wanna make sure that I pick up parts of my hair that's short, also parts of the blonde and parts of the darker color hair extensions, to kind of mix them all together. Now I am going to do fairly tight kind of curls, but I want to leave the end clear so that I have more like beachy looking ends. So it's not perfect ringlets all the way to the bottom, but I'll have these kind of straight bits that almost look a little bit like I've dipped in the water. Now a lot of the time if I'm doing like one of those big sort of hair looks, like Victoria's Secret kind of hairstyle, I guess, I always curl them in the one direction. With this look, what I want to do is kind of make them fight against each other. So I'm going to grab this next section here and I'm going to curl that towards my face in the opposite direction of the previous one. See, I've got that end bit just poking out there. You can even give that end bit a little bit of a twist so that each curl kind of stays in its own little grouping. Okay, now I have a whole bunch of little sort of separate curls like that, and I'm gonna do the exact same thing to the second layer. Okay, now I have a total head of curls. I'm gonna get some of my gold dust and pop that kind of in my roots and this top layer here to build a bit more volume. Now what I'm gonna do is take the front piece of hair from each side and join that together at the back. So I need to just combine this side and that side in a tiny little ponytail. Now, next thing I'm gonna do is pull these out a little bit and then flip it through. Now this is gonna create like a twist without necessarily having to twist it. So that's twist one, and then you can do another one. So now I basically have this cute little half up, half down do. I am gonna pop a bit more of this texture spray in there and make this look a bit more like messy chic. I don't want it to look too like, you know, primary school. Could you find a get hairspray in that drawer, top drawer? Thank you. And now I'm gonna hairspray this down. Ooh. And now the creme de la creme finishing touches. I'm gonna pull out these little bits of baby's breath and I'm going to place them sort of all around in my hair. So I'm trying to put them in like kind of more odd places rather than all in exactly the same spot. Now I am in a bit of an odd spot and I don't have a mirror behind you guys. So babe, I'm gonna invite a special guest to the tutorial today. Can you do a few? He is creative. He will do a good job with this. All right, let's see what Kane Vardo thinks we should do.
All right, am I coming over here?
Yeah.
All right, guys. Hi.
You gotta explain what you're doing and why.
Before I get started, I'd just like to say my Instagram is @VATO. Feel free to go give me a follow. That's my only payment for today, by the way. Yeah. I got you.
But in the twist as much as you can. Like you can do it at the bottom of the twist if you think that looks good.
Okay, here we go. That's an interesting.
Oh, it's so cute! Keep going, I like it.
This is gonna make me. I'm gonna get heavily mocked by the rest of the Instagram husband community.
This is great. You could do my hair for the wedding.
I know that Jack Morris is watching this and he's just gonna send me a message after this video goes live just going, oh, so that's what you are now, is it? Alright, well I mean it's gotta be a bit random, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's good.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's very nice actually.
Great. Well, I don't have a mirror, so I'm gonna take your word for it.
Yep.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Do I look like a Greek goddess?
I'm available for weddings and bar mitzvahs as well if anyone's interested. But I'll leave my hair care booking details down below.
Thank you, baby. Okay, well there you have it. That is my full look for today. I wanted to do this kind of like Grecian, beachy, feminine kind of look and I think it turned out so much better than I expected. Baby, you keep walking through the frame.
P-A-T-O.
You're such an idiot. This is what we've got going on. We've got kind of extensions. We've got a little Grecian twist. A really easy one to do. Like literally anybody can achieve this. And if Kane can figure out how to put baby's breath in there to make it look good, I'm pretty sure literally anybody can.
Hey!
So I hope you enjoyed this look. I had a lot of fun doing it. I really want to go somewhere right now, but I actually have nothing at all to do. I just wanted to try this look. Honestly, if I wasn't on vacation in Mykonos, I probably would have tried to look like this every single day, but it did take me like an hour and a half, so it's just not realistic when you just want to go lie by the pool. But I do hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave it a like. Make sure you subscribe because I do a bunch of these kind of videos and I definitely want to do a lot more in the future. If you have any particular looks that you would like me to try out, please let me know in the comments below. And I will see you next time. Bye!